if you don't show up and do your best, put your best foot forward every single day, don't expect to have the outcome, the 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure income. It doesn't work that way. Yo, what's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the Battle Ready Show. Guys, we have this thing on the Battle Ready program where we have our daily non-negotiables. And I get this question all the time. It drives me goddamn mad because guys are like, oh, what's the point of doing a cold shower? It's not even hard. Well, bro, if it's not that hard, why are you bitching about it in the first place? Like, why are you asking questions? If it's that easy, just do it. But the reality is, right, most people don't do a whole hell of a lot of hard in their day-to-day life, which is why they become complacent. They start getting a little bit too comfortable. They start stacking on a little bit of extra pounds. And then that starts showing up in other areas of their life too. Their desperate desire for convenience, comfort, starts showing up everywhere else, which is why they inevitably get a little bit overweight, start showing up a little bit differently, start lacking energy, etc. So the cold shower is not so much about the fact that you're standing in the cold. Now, obviously, there's a ton of benefits to cold therapy. There's a reason you probably get blasted with cold plunge adverts and cold shower adverts. And you see all of these memes on Instagram at the moment where guys are talking about the benefits of cold therapy and how it like helps you metabolize fat and releases certain proteins and stuff. I'm not going to get into that. That's too sciencey and it's just boring, to be honest with you. But the reality is that it works for all of those factors and some. The reason we do it is because we want to put you in a state of stress. First thing in the morning, when you wake up and you get into a cold shower and you negotiate with that little demon in the back of your head that says, fuck you, I don't want to do this shit, and you do it anyway, that's the side of you we want to bring to the surface. That's the version of you that we want to see on a more consistent basis. Why? Because that version of you, he can handle any kind of thing. He can handle any kind of adversity, any kind of challenges, etc. That version of you, when he can silence that little voice and put that guy on mute, can attack the day with a different type of energy, with a different type of representation of who you want to be. That's the 2.0 version of you that we want to see show up on a more consistent basis. That type of version of you that says, you know what, I don't really care about my feelings or my emotions. Now, obviously, having feelings and emotions is important, but not when it comes to doing hard shit, not when it comes to doing your responsibilities. Like the minute someone kicks your front door in, and I've said this before on this show, the minute someone kicks your front door in, they don't give a shit about your emotions. They don't give a shit about your feelings. They're there to take your shit or do some horrible stuff to you. They don't give a fuck about your feelings. So why should you? Like if you haven't done the prep work to be prepared for that kind of situation and scenario and know that you have the confidence to handle that situation, what are we even talking about at this point? Like you need to be in a position where you can handle that shit and with comfort and know that, hey man, the best version of me, that 2.0 version of me, he can handle that situation pretty comfortably. If the shit hits the fan, I know exactly how I'm going to play this out. I'm going to do this, that, and the other and make sure my family's safe over here and do this. But if you don't prepare for those situations, if you're the guy who, when the alarm goes off, you hit the snooze button, you're the guy who, when the negotiation about the cold shower kicks off, you're like, man, you know what? What's the real point of it anyway? Who really needs to do 5 minutes in a cold shower? That shows up in other areas of your life. That's why we lean heavily into that. Because also when you start negotiating with something as simple as turning on a shower head, what else are you prepared to negotiate about? What else are you prepared to put on the back burner and allow just to happen on autopilot to where you live this Groundhog Day and stuff starts showing up a little bit differently. And this is where this kind of shit shows up, right? So just yesterday, I had a random phone call. I don't answer the phone. Like if you haven't scheduled a fucking call with me, don't phone me. Pisses me off so much. But I had a scheduled call coming in. So I was like, fuck, okay, I don't know this number, but someone's supposed to be phoning me about now. So I'm going to answer the phone and see what's up. Turns out it was a guy who applied for Battle Ready like 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. Couldn't afford it at the time. Said to me, you know what, man, it's too expensive. And I hit him with, dude, it's money. The government prints more of it every single day. You can find ways to make money. At this point, we were talking about our entry-level program, which is like $8 a day. I'm like, dude, you spend more than that at Starbucks or McDonald's or Chipotle. $8 a day, you can find it if you had to. Like if someone put a gun to your head and said, find $8, you would find it lying on the fucking street. So anyway, we're going back and forth and he decides it's not for him. Phones me 3 or 4 months later. The dude's in his car in a park threatening to kill himself. And now I'm on this call when I'm supposed to be having another call with someone else about something completely different. I can't just be like, hey man, well, do what you got to do. See you later. I've got another call coming in. So now I'm handling this fucking situation, right? And this entire situation plays out because the guy's chosen easy his entire life. And it's not necessarily his fault. He's in his early 20s. I honestly blame his parents. And one of the things that my wife and I fight the most about is raising my son. Why do we fight the most about it? Because I don't want him to have it too easy. The minute we allow him to settle into average and mediocrity, he's going to become that 20-something-year-old kid that I spoke to just yesterday on the fucking phone when life kind of punches him in the face a little bit too hard, which, fuck it, dude, all of us get punched in the face almost every single day on a consistent basis. He's going to be the guy that's like, man, obviously this life is not for me. I'm going to just off myself. That's why we program cold showers. That's why we make your workouts filthy, because we want to condition you for the chaos, because we want to get you to a point where you're used to fucking doing some hard stuff that's uncomfortable, because society at the moment is conditioning us for easy. You guys want DoorDash or you want ice cream? DoorDash. You guys want some fucking PlayStation 5? Amazon will be here tomorrow. You want to see tits? Fucking OnlyFans, right? It's all at the tip of your fingertips. You just pick up this thing right now and you can get anything you fucking want that quick. So now you condition your kids to do the same thing. They get participation trophies. My son got a participation trophy for soccer. I wanted to fucking set it on fire. Shit pissed me off so bad. Fuck. I never ever got a participation trophy for fuck all. I think they tried to give me one time and I threw it in the goddamn trash can. Who wants to get rewarded for showing up and doing the bare minimum, not even fucking winning? That's what we've conditioned our kids and our generation to do. So now when life gets a little bit challenging and the guy leaves university, this is how fucked this kid's mindset is. He's just left college or university, whatever the fuck you guys call it here in America. He's just left there. He's been in the job business. He's been hunting for a job for the last few months, like 3 or 4 months or whatever, and he isn't making 6 figures yet. That's how unrealistic this kid is about his future. He was told, go to college, get a degree, and you'll make 6 figures. He's not making 6 figures. He's tied his entire identity to the fact that he went to college, did what he was told, and he was promised 6 figures on the back of it. No one told him that, hey, bro, you might have to sit through 300 interviews. I went to 300 interviews before I landed my first job. No one told me that either. There was a time when I was in the kitchen. So my parents, I didn't have the money to go back to see my parents at the time. My parents were in Cambridge. I was in London. My parents paid for my train ticket, went back home because my mom could tell I was kind of off. I was not in a good place. Pretty miserable, pretty fucked up. So she's like, come home for the weekend. We'll kind of look after you. Truth be told, it was so that I could get fed and like wear some clean clothes for a change. Anyway, talking to my mom and I'm unpacking this thing. I'm like, Mom, I'm like 100 interviews in and I still don't have this fucking job. And she's like, so what? My dad's like, bro, is that your biggest issue right now? You don't have a job? Like, fucking figure it out. If you have to do another 100 interviews, do another 100 interviews. Anyway, my like 24-year-old self is emotionally constipated and just borderline a fucking moron. So getting angry, frustrated, not really listening to what they're saying about just embracing the suck and enjoying the process of this whole thing. Getting angry, punching tables and walls and all sorts of stupid shit, and like being a pissed off teenager at 24 years old. Pretty embarrassing. But anyway, this kid is in the same position Byron 1.0 was in, where he's like being told by society that you do this and you're going to get this reward and you don't have to work afterwards. Dude, the piece of paper that you get at a university is exactly that. It's a fucking piece of paper. Now that I understand that, I've got more degrees than a thermometer. Because when I went to an interview and they told me, hey man, you don't have XYZ, I said, no, I don't. Oh, for this job you need it. Shit, now I got to get that. I got to get a diploma in this and a fucking certificate in that and a this and a that and a this and a that. And now I have all of it. Like, you go onto my LinkedIn and there's like a fucking bunch of shit in there that I'll never use again. But to get a consulting job, I needed it. But I also bought into the narrative that this youngster bought into yesterday, where he's like, dude, I was promised 6 figures. I'm not doing it. Now, like, his girlfriend just left him and this, that, and the other, and the world is just fucked. And I'm like, welcome. You're like, you've joined the real world. So you have two options, kid. You can follow through with what you want to do, which is put a hose pipe in your window, or you can use this as the biggest learning curve that you've ever been gifted in your entire life. Like, you can embrace the suck and the reality of the real world. Like, unfortunately for you, your parents and society have lied to you your entire life. They've promised you shit because you just show up and you tick a box. The real world stamps on your throat when you do that. The real world wants the best for you when you do that. So, if you don't show up and do your best, put your best foot forward every single day, don't expect to have the outcome, the 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure income. It doesn't work that way. You don't turn up and do the work at the gym. Please, for the love of God, don't expect to have abs. If you can't be fucked to meal prep, understand that abs are a very distant thing. They're not coming your way anytime soon. Unless you're a genetic freak, and even then, good luck. Because you can't offset 23 hours of fuckery with 1 hour in the gym. It doesn't work that way. 4% of your day can't offset 96%. Doesn't play. So, the cold showers, the routine, the structure, it's all put there on purpose. This is why when the Battle Ready guys join our ecosystem and they do the fucking work and they post their photos and they post their workouts and they post all of that stuff and put it on display for everyone else in the group to see, it's a layer of accountability. It's, hey man, I did the fucking work. I showed up today and I did it, and I'm better today than I was yesterday. Now, the justification for all of that is exactly this. We're crafting a 2.0 version of you. The version you are today has certain problems, issues, unresolved things, all sorts of shit going on. Slightly overweight, whatever, doesn't matter. Your version of you right now, that's your 1.0 version. Now think 5 years from today. What does the best version of you look like? How does that guy show up? What does he look like? What does he dress like? What does he drive? What does he do? What does he eat? What does he drink? Where does he live? We create that. We literally get you thinking 5, 10, 15 years ahead of time. And now how do we time collapse you and make you that guy today? What do we have to do? What does that look like? Gets to a point where it's like, okay, dude, the best version of me drives a Lambo and lives in a penthouse and does this, that, and the other. Okay. What skills does that guy have? What does his morning routine look like? What is his discipline? What is his nutrition, his workout protocol, etc.? What does he look like when he stands in the fucking mirror? Is he 60 pounds overweight, or is he in the best shape of his life? I can promise you now, if you're carrying 60 pounds, you might be successful and you might be wealthy, but you're not as successful and wealthy as you should be. That's inevitable. It's impossible to be. I promise you now, 2.0 version of you, the healthiest version of you, will be more successful and more wealthy. Hands down, every day. You might be a good dad, you can be a better dad. You might be a good husband, you can be a better husband. You have better energy, better presence, and everything else because you function better. There's a reason the saying is healthy body, healthy mind. If you're unhealthy here, it's going to show up here somewhere. It's inevitable. It has to. So we craft that 2.0 version of you. That 2.0 version of you, he does hard shit. Now you understand the cold shower. Now you understand why we make you track your macros. Now you understand why we get you doing stuff that you have to do on a daily basis. That's uncomfortable. There's workouts where the beginning of the workout is 500 reps on like a leg press machine or 10 minutes of squats. Now you have two choices when you see that, right? You can fake it and lie and go, yeah, I did 500 when you only did 200 or 100 or 400. Or you can do the work and introduce yourself to a whole nother level of thinking that you didn't have before. Because let me tell you, you see that little demon on your shoulder or in the back of your head gets very loud very quick. That guy's like, fuck these guys. I don't know why they hate me. This is stupid. I'm not going to do this. I got better things to do today. This is not part of my schedule. These guys are crazy, blah, blah, blah. And it gets loud as hell. But you do it, and on the other side of that, you're like, holy shit, I just fucking repped out 500 reps on a leg press machine. What could possibly stop me? What else today could be harder than ripping out my body weight 500 fucking times? Like, that's nuts. What else could possibly slow me down? Now you approach the day differently. You carry a different energy through the day. That's why we do this thing with the Battle Ready program. And I just had a call on Wednesday about the 3 evils that most people get into and what hold most people back. I'm not going to dive too deep in it here, but we cover those 3 evils in depth on the Battle Ready program on a consistent basis because those are the next things that'll start showing up. They'll start getting you a little bit more complacent, a little bit more lazy, a little bit more, oh, this is not for me, I don't need to do it. Oh, I already got my goal, now I can just stop. Because that's what typically happens next. You get to where you want to go, and then you're like, cool, I'm here, and you think you arrived. No, now you do the work to stay there or progress. That's how this works. So the reasoning for the cold showers and the brutal workouts and the tracking of your nutrition is because it builds discipline, it builds structure, it builds routine. It stops you from phoning a complete fucking stranger at 3:30 on a Thursday afternoon or whatever the case may be and tell him you want to off yourself because life's been too hard for you. When in reality, life's pretty good. You still live at home with your parents. You still have a roof over your head. You got food on the table. Yeah, you don't have that fucking 6-figure income, but you don't deserve it. Reality is you don't deserve it yet. You haven't done the work. You haven't shown up enough to justify 6 figures. Doesn't matter what society told you. Society's full of shit. Society's promised you your entire life that you get what you want, regardless of whether you work or not. But then, real world shows up. And real world says, fuck you. You earned this shit or you don't have it. We get you earning that 2.0 self every fucking day. And the minute we make you do that and you consistently do that, how do you lose? How do you not get where you want to go? If you show up every day and you be the best version of you and you make choices that only the best version of you makes, how do you not have the Lambo? How do you not have the penthouse? How do you not have the woman of your dreams, the wife of your dreams, the kids of your dreams, etc.? It's impossible because you earned it. You did the work every day. You showed up for it every single day. That's all we do. That's all we do. We craft that 2.0 and we hold you accountable to it. Does the 2.0 of you drink every single night? Probably not. Does the 2.0 version of you do cocaine and fuck strippers on the weekend? Probably not. So don't do it today. Don't do it tomorrow. Don't do it the next day. And you commit to those patterns of life on a consistent basis, and you only make the choices that 2.0 you would make, and you live that life for long enough, and that 2.0 life has to come to fruition because you've lived it, you've earned it, you've done the work. It's not rocket science shit, guys. So we put the things in place for a reason. We make this shit happen for a reason. Why? Because we want that best version of you. That best version of you, when he shows up, he makes more money. He's a better father, better husband. He's more consistent, better businessman, looks better, feels better, has better energy, and everything else. All of the problems you have today, 2.0 version of you doesn't have. He doesn't have them because he's better than those problems. He has different problems. I want bigger problems. I want $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, $1 million problems. Those are the problems I'm chasing down. I don't give a fuck about a $100 problem. 1.0 version of me, worried about $100, worried about $1,000. 2.0 version of me, worried about $1 million. That's the problems I want. That's the problems I'm going to solve. And that's the lifestyle that I live today so that I can ultimately earn those problems in the future. If we craft that same thing for you, how do you not win? How do you not come out the other side a better version? So that's why we cold shower. We track nutrition. We work out like savages. We get you thinking and feeling like that 2.0 version of you. We get you living him, more importantly, and you inevitably become that guy, which is why the guys on the program look better, feel better, better energy, better husbands, better fathers, make more money, more successful, more wealthy in all aspects of their life. That's why we do what we do. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Like, subscribe, share. We'll catch you next time. Cheers for now.